From 20th Century in Portland, we're here for the title matches of today's JBT events. We actually got all three divisions still in action here. We're going to try and recap what's going on. In the middle here, this is the Scratch Division title match, a single game title match today between two-time champ Daniel Hanson and non-winner Jesse Covington. He's won a bunch of tournaments on the Eastern Washington Tour, but trying to break through for his first win with us. That's a third frame open for Hanson, which means that he now trails by 5 pins through those 3 frames. Over here in the left of your screen, that's the handicap division bowling, essentially their semifinal match. It's a 3-way game with the top 2 scores with handicap advancing to the title match. That's little Sebastian Paulhill holding his own as usual up against Kevin Oberst, and Connor Gracia finally breaking out of his slump in the top 3 over there. Over here to the far right, we have our Women's Series title match, and for all the money in the world, I would have bet you would have seen this lady in the regular title match. It didn't happen, and Makayla Douglas has had a spectacular day. We'll talk about that. So it's Makayla going up against Correen Lieber for the 3rd time out of 4 Pac Northwest tournaments this year in the Women's Series. I'm going to talk a lot about Makayla because what she did today is unprecedented for a female bowler on our tour. A nice job of Hanson picking up the 4-5. She qualified first today at plus 266 for 5, which is a healthy total. What is that, about a 250 plus average for her 5 games. That may be the highest 5-game total for a female we've ever had. We haven't officially kept that record, so I got to go back through some of Brianna and Shannon's best ever totals, but it's certainly one of the very highest ever. That's impressive in itself. What's more impressive is she was ahead of second place by 201 pins after those first 5 games. Second place was Austin Gratzer at plus 60 at the time, so not just high scoring, but just light years ahead of the entire field. The good news, bad news portion of that is we used our Super Survivor format today, and once you got down to the final 3, it was that 3-way match like handicapped is bowling now, with the top 2 scores advancing, and Makayla bowed out in 3rd in that round as Jesse and Daniel both beat Makayla that game. So odd to see her not in the title match with such a dominant performance, but I wanted to get that on the record, just how spectacular she was today. Correen Lieber doesn't care about all that right now. She just wants to win the women's title for herself, and they're virtually square right now as Makayla opened in the 2nd and recovered with the double. While if Correen spares that 10 pin, she'll stay just about even with them through 5 frames. Jesse, one of the bowlers from east of the mountains that comes over and bowls with us quite a bit. Real nice game. He's going to win a title sooner or later. Let's see if it's today. And as soon as I say something nice about him, bam, pocket 710. What a surprise. Unbelievable. I don't believe her misses that 10 pin for fall behind. Over in the handicap division, the handicaps are 56 for Connor, 58 for Sebastian, and 33 for Kevin. Kevin's had a 4-bagger before that single pin that he's shooting just off camera to the left. He did miss it, but he still looks to be in pretty good shape as I sort of eyeball those scores over there. Sebastian's struggling right now through 7 frames. He's already, he's won a tournament. I think Connor won a tournament a long time ago. So he's really busting out of the slump. Daniel, one of the up-and-coming stars of our tour. I think he's only 14. Won twice last season. Hangs in there with the big guys without any problem. What a nice physical game that is. And a good result there. Leads by 10 pins with that strike and Jesse's unconverted pocket 710. Makayla is a fierce competitor, if nothing else. It's a tough pill for her to swallow losing the main tournament. That doesn't mean she wants to win, doesn't want to win the women's series really badly. And high again there. The 367. Hold on, the beaten path pattern, just slightly higher scoring than yesterday's Dead Man's Curve. Just a little bit more slope to the pattern, which led to those slightly higher scores. As Hanson crushes a 2nd straight rack for a double to open up a 20-pin lead. Here's Douglas at the split. Not going to have it. Exhaustion definitely a factor here too, as bowlers are bowling somewhere around their 12th game of the day, maybe a little more or less in either case. Correen might be on her 50th game of the day because she had to wait until the cut to bowl this match. So she's been waiting, literally, look out, literally for hours to bowl this game, and she got in a nice little workout. She said if she stopped bowling, her knee would swell up, and if she kept bowling, her knee would get sore. So she was kind of in no-win spot there on her poor knee. Pretty good shot, a half 10 for it. Jessie with that roller 10. They'll both switch balls and go hard and straight directly at the 10. That's a good tip for you youngsters. Don't hook that ball at your corner pins. Gracious spares up in the 9th over there. And Lieber and Covington both make their 10 pins. Similar games between Jessie and Daniel, both with that medium to high backswing. Real nice balance at the foul line for both of them. All kinds of hand rotation at the bottom. It looks so relaxed, but there's some pop on that ball at the end. A nice shot there for him in the 7th frame to stay within shouting distance. Daniel is going to be at the top of our points list for many years, but he is at the bottom of our dive list. There's a video floating around of him attempting to dive into a pool. It was a little bit ugly. The Russian judge gave him an 0.4. It was not good. Not good. Apparently he worked on it last night. Oh, Sebastian in the gutter over there. I think he's tiring out. Yes, I should mention that Sebastian pulled his first ever 200 game scratch, by the way, in case you're wondering about that. 203, I think? 201. 201? Who cares? 20 something. That's all that matters. He was on cloud 9 from there. So over there in handicap, Sebastian's going to bow out in 3rd, but he's got his 200 game. The Paul Hills will still celebrate. They're always near the top of the list, but it's going to be Connor and Kevin in the handicap title match coming up after we conclude action here in both scratch divisions. Big shot here for Covington. Perfect shot there for Covington. Nice ball there. Not a lot of emotion. Poker face. Beautiful shot by Correen as well over there. Minus 41 was the cut in the handicap today, and I don't remember the scratch cut because that was about 5 hours ago. About 60 something down. It's in that area. 70 down. There you go. Thanks as always to 20th for hosting us. Do a great job every time. Oh, creeps up high on him there in the key 9th frame. Could have pulled just about even with that strike, as it is. He will spare this up to trail by 11 pins heading into the 10th frame. I hope he will spare this up. Oh boy, didn't want to kiss of death in there. I almost did. I'm glad I added that at the end, as he just avoids the chop there in the 9th frame. That would have been disastrous. As it is, Hanson can still win it right here with strikes in the 9th and 10th. The best Jessie can do is 191. Whoa! Makayla slaps out that 4-pin. Why not? Daniel going at a 192 pace. So a double here. Oh, gets that 7-pin to tickle out. So now Hanson just needs to mark in the 10th to capture the title. Anything less than a mark, Jessie can still snatch it away. Makayla can max out for 220 and Lieber can max out for 213. Both on doubles heading into the 10th. And oh, a half 10 sets up a interesting scenario here. She spares strikes for 199, which would mean Correen would need the first hit and good count. Hanson for the win. Daniel Hanson's a 3-time JBT champ, and it's either 14 or 15. I think he's 14, and that is stellar. Comes from a bowling family. I'm sure his pop will be proud to get the news. Makayla does spare up that 10-pin. Good fill here is important. And sure even Dan and Jesse felt a little bad about winning that semifinal game. You're always happy for yourself, but all I could say to Makayla was that's bowling, and there's not many other sports where you can dominate that badly. So not the best fill ball, as it turns out, for 196. So now basically it's strike win and don't strike lose. You know, she should be able to hold enough count if she does get the strike. Can I say should? You never know. Hanson finishes up with 209 and a title. Good thing he bowls a lot better than he dives, folks. He'll be so mad at me when he watches this tape. Alright, here's Lieber shooting for the Women's Series title right on this ball. Not to be. It's a measure of redemption for Makayla. She's going to get the Women's Series title out of today at least. These two are going to go at it time and time again all season long. It'll be a fun battle to watch between two really talented girls. Congrats to Jesse on the runner-up finish as well. Stick around. The handicap title match will wrap it up next.